Public input? Okay. We move on with the agenda. We have a request from Dan Stacy, agent for LJ Holland Inc. to rezone Marina's Walk Plan Development PD to the Four Seasons Flexible Design District FDD. Purpose of this request is to create a planned resident neighborhood compromise of single-family, multi-family, and associate amenities. The property is located along the Sampit River. Okay, and we have, who got that one?
Me, that would be me. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
The site contains a total of 308.82 acres and is currently zoned Mariners Walk Plan Development and is forested and or vacant. The property is located north of Montford Road at the end of Johnny's River Road and along the Sampit River. The Harmony PD borders the site to the west, R10 and FA to the south, and heavy industrial to the east, and conservation preservation to the north along the Sampit River. The Mariners Walk Plan Development was approved in 2006 as a single-use PD consisting of 343 single-family parcels to be developed within the requirements set for the 10,000 square foot residential zoning classification. In addition, the PD was approved with the following amenities: a boat storage center, amenity center, a 40-slip community dock with gazebos and walking trails were proposed for the wetland features. And that this existing plan is in your packet. The applicant is proposing a 55-plus residential development with associated amenities, including a private marina for residents. The development will be located along the Sampit River and will consist of both single-family and multifamily units, not to exceed 403 units. The intent is to develop this project in 4 phases. The entire site contains 308.82 total acres with 100.7 acres of wetlands. No wetland fill is anticipated for phases 1 through 3. However, if any wetland fill is required for phase 4, a permit application will be submitted to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and South Carolina DES. The property also contains an eagle's nest and an archaeological site located on the north corner of the tract along the Sampit River. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service requires a buffer of 660 feet around active or alternate bald eagle nests during the nesting season. During the non-nesting season, the minimum required buffer for most landing and construction activities is 330 feet. The total number of units shall not exceed 403. The gross density is 1.31 units per acre. The net density is 2.38 units per acre. The wetlands, the ponds, and the roads are not included in the net density calculations. Density and transfer of uses may be at a staff level up to 14% of the land use or phase, but overall density is capped at 403 units. Amenities and open space will be provided throughout the development. The project amenity consisting of 20-plus acres may include a community clubhouse, building, playground area, swimming pool, pickleball courts, marina facilities, and general open space. The developer does plan to install a 25-foot buffer around the perimeter of the tract, as well as a 25-foot buffer along the wetlands. The proposed dimensional standards for the Four Seasons FDD are capped at 6,000 square feet for single family and 1,600 square feet for townhomes. The front setbacks are 20 for the front, 6 for the side, and 15 for the rear. A preliminary tree survey shows 1,103 protected trees on the property with 14 trees over 24 inches DBH. A tree chart has been completed by Mike Russell, which is a certified arborist, listing the number of protected trees, their DBH species, and the condition. Of the 14 grand trees, 4 are in poor condition and will need to be removed. The county will require a letter from the arborist certifying that these trees must be removed. Article 13, Section 1301.7 of the Georgetown County zoning ordinance states that grand trees must have approval from the Zoning Board of Appeals to remove any grand trees before land clearing or development in the subdivision. Site plan may need to be adjusted to avoid the removal of any of the other grand trees. Stormwater drainage will be addressed by the use of on-site detention ponds. A stormwater drainage collection system will be provided to address the difference in pre- and post-construction stormwater runoff in accordance with the Georgetown County Stormwater Ordinance. A utility coordinating meeting was held on June the 9th, in which most of the applicable parties were represented and no major issues were discussed with the proposed project. Overall, utility services could be all connected to and served by the development by access from the main lines on Montfort Road. Georgetown County Water and Sewer has reviewed the request and has determined that the district has the capacity in the city of Georgetown wastewater treatment plant to serve this development. They also stated that the district has water capacity in the Kilsock area, and the letters of coordination are in your packet. A traffic impact study was completed in May 2026 by Bill Engineering. The study considered a total of 403 age-restricted single-family dwelling units that will be accessed via Johnny's River Road. The project is expected to generate approximately 1,825 new daily trips. Based on the results of the analysis, the following transportation-related improvements were identified as part of the project. US 17 at Montfort Road, a regular monitoring of the intersection for potential signalization at the development traffic volumes as traffic volumes are realized. When warranted, a traffic signal should be installed. The other intersections will continue to operate at an acceptable level of service. Access to the site will be provided from Johnny's River Road, which is a state-maintained road. There will be internal road systems built to service the residents. The proposed rights-of-way are a minimum of 50-foot wide and are to be constructed to SCDOT and county standards. The rights-of-way will remain private and the community will be gated. All streets shall incorporate sidewalks on both sides of the roadway. Additional pedestrian sidewalk connections interior to the development for access to open space and amenities may be provided utilizing street right-of-ways or through open space within the development. A secondary emergency gated connection will be provided through the Harmony PD. New road names for the development will need to be reviewed and approved by Planning Commission. In addition, an encroachment permit will be required by SCDOT. Signage has not yet been addressed. However, Georgetown County zoning ordinance allows 2 signs with a total of 40 square feet for each development entrance. The height may not exceed 12 feet. This property is located in flood zone AE and X. The future land use map shows this parcel and the adjacent Harmony PD as residential. The residential place type consists of low to medium density residential development in traditional neighborhood patterns with a high level design. Lot sizes and configurations may vary based on location, natural features, open space, or natural resources. This place type may provide opportunities for conservation subdivisions to preserve natural resources while increasing housing choice. Residential density is approximately 1 to 5 units per acre, with limited exceptions for incorporation of affordable housing. The proposed net density of 2.38 units per acre is in keeping with the current future land use map designation. The purpose of a flexible design district is to provide opportunities to create more desirable environments for single or mixed-use developments through the application of flexible and diversified land development standards under a comprehensive review process. In conclusion, if the Planning Commission determines that the requirements of the FDD section have been adequately addressed and chooses to move forward with the project, staff would recommend the following conditions. Approval of the traffic study as provided. Traffic improvements will be installed as required by SCDOT. The need for a traffic signal at US 17 and Montfort will be assessed at 50% project build-out in conjunction with DOT. Final approvals from Army Corps of Engineers, DES, Georgetown County Stormwater, Georgetown County Water and Sewer, County Fire, and SCDOT. Financial guarantees in the form of a letter of credit or cash bond will be required for all infrastructure improvements if lots are to be sold prior to infrastructure completion. A tree plan to be submitted and approved by staff before land disturbance development will be designed around protected trees over 24 inches DBH. U.S. Fish and Wildlife requirements shall be met regarding the eagle's nest located on the property. All streets shall incorporate sidewalks on both sides of the roadway. Street names will need to be approved by the planning commission before final plat approval. Signage for the subdivision will be limited to 2 at each entrance with a maximum square footage of 40 square foot each. And overall, the overall density will be capped at 403 units. No more than 14% of the units may be transferred between the phases. And the total number of multifamily units, including townhomes, shall not exceed 14% of the units. Dan Stacy, which is representing the applicant, is here to answer any questions as well as myself.
Thank you. If there any questions for staff at this time? Any questions for staff?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How many units is it currently zoned for?
343.
340. Thank you. And why is, just out of curiosity, why do you wait? Why does SCDOT have to wait until it's 50% complete before they assess the traffic if they know how many units and
Well, that was actually a number that we put in, according to the traffic, impact analysis. It just says that the county and SCDOT will coordinate, once it starts being built out,
with the decision as to whether or not to put in a
whether or
traffic
not it
light
needs a signal. Yes,
will be SCDOT's call to make.
yes.
So
Any other questions for staff at this time? Okay, if not, we'll hear from Mr. Stacy.
Good afternoon. Kevin Davis, Chair. So, yeah, let's go back even. With me is Ashley Dennick. She is with Thomas and Hutton. She is the project manager for this project. And also we have John Fleming, who is with Husky Gay Bell, who is doing a lot of this design work. So if you have technical questions about the design, either Ashley or John or myself will try to answer them. Judy's staff report is its normal thorough staff report, but I wanted to point a couple things out, and to Mr. Hill's point, let's focus on the current situation. It is currently approved as a traditional suburban neighborhood design for 343 single-family homes that can move forward. It's fully entitled for that, and we could build that today with just stormwater approvals and building permit approvals. And the current plan, as it's approved, because of the type of traditional neighborhood that's there, will generate, according to the traffic study prepared for that project, 3,033 trips. This new plan is for a 55-plus active adult community with private streets and a large amenity package of in excess of 20 acres or so for its residents. And as it says in the narrative, it may or may not include things like pickleball courts and swimming pools, that there is a marina permitted for this site for the residents. The new plan would seek to increase the overall units to 403, which is a 14.8% increase over what's currently there. But due to the clustering of units in the new plan, and I know we've talked a lot about cluster developments in your new unified development ordinance, we increase open space from the old plan by over 30%, or right at 30%. And also because the community plan is a 55 and over, the traffic is different because those folks don't go to school in the morning and lots of them are retired. And so the current traffic impact analysis would anticipate at full build out, this generating 1,825 trips per day. I have a memo from the traffic engineer, and Junior, somebody else. Anticipated under the existing plan versus what this plan would be at full build out for traffic. Staff report sets out that the density would be 1.3 units per acre gross or 2.38 units per acre net density. This is in complete compliance with your comprehensive plan and future land use map for this part of the county. And prior planning commissions and councils had already approved this type of use for 343 units. No future land use map is required to be changed here. And if you guys believe that your approved comp plan and future land use map or guidelines and roadmaps for the county, this plan is exactly what you have published that you say that you would like to have in this part of the county. As indicated in the staff report, 25-foot buffers around the perimeter and wetlands, and we'll preserve the grand trees that we can salvage. We have to do that, and we will be working with the county on the tree plan. One of the things the flexible design is supposed to show you is that we're increasing some innovative design techniques or doing something different than the traditional subdivision that you or prior planning commissioners approved. And so we put forth the innovative stuff here is the 30% increase in open space, the larger buffer for the eagle's nest that's there, and the voluntary buffering of wetlands. To Mr. Hills's question about absorption and a traffic light with regard to these units, based on marketing success, economic conditions, and permitting processes in 4 phases, a good general estimate would be some 8 to 10 year build out for a project like this. And so to Mr. Hills's question, I don't want to try to jump into it, but they talk about what warrants a traffic light. Ashley may be able to speak to this better than me or John. It's a combination of traffic counts and wait times, and it may hit that threshold, it may not, depending on other activity in the community. And John, if you want to speak to the traffic light, we can. If you need more information about that, Mr. Hill. You want to hear about that now, or you want me to just kind of keep rolling through it?
Yes,
Okay.
go ahead.
With the density allocations, because this takes time and conditions change, we did ask for a 14% reallocation inside of this community. We may add a few more single-family homes or a townhouse or 2, but with the 14% cap, and we would ask that that be done at the staff level because this is a large project and we may have to move some things around based on conditions on the ground. In summary, I mean, what's really going on here is we currently have approval for a 343 single-family home development that would be projected to generate 3,033 trips per day with public roads to be maintained by the county. And that's a fully entitled project. What we propose instead is 403 units generating 1,825 trips per day with private streets not maintained by the county, 30% more open space, using more of the clustering in this design so that the open space is more usable and all the open space is not just absorbed with side and front and rear setbacks. This company that will do this, I will just say that they have 3 projects like this in South Carolina now, 2 of which are fully built.
Either fully built or in process.
In process and 1 that's in planning. So they've done this a lot. This is not a speculative play. This is what they do. We think it complies with everything you've published or indicated that you say you want in this area. And we will be glad between John and Ashley and myself to answer any additional questions after you contemplate or maybe after public comment or input, or now, if you have something.
You have a question, Mr. Hill?
I notice ingress egress is through existing Harmony roads.
No, sir. No, sir.
It's not
It's not. Johnny's River Road.
Johnny's
River Road.
Oh.
We have a
okay.
crash gate. There's a crash gate emergency access that's potentially going to be there for that.
Gotcha.
And there are some discussions about the owner of the Harmony Tract and this owner about maybe some shared water and sewer features for efficiency of water and sewer, but not cross access.
And that's a county or a state road.
Yes, sir. So it's state road where we actually access it is a DOT maintained road.
So the current interest into Harmony, you see you're not going to use that particular,
We don't have one. We don't have an entrance into Harmony.
okay. Don't have any, okay.
Again, the crash gate for emergency purposes, but not a full access point.
Any other questions for Mr. Stacy?
And if you have a technical one, I've got 2 good technical experts here that can certainly provide
Okay,
information if you think of something as you hear any public comment. Thank you.
thank you. Public comment, Mr. Hill?
Nobody signed up?
The board is signed up? Oh. Nobody signed up, okay. Holly, the applicant, Mr. Stacy, they've met all the requirements for this project, haven't
Yes, this is, different than a subdivision. This is a rezoning request. So this is zone plan development today. As Mr. Stacy said, it's zoned for the Mariners Walk plan development with the 343 units. So that is the approval that they're sitting with today. They've asked you to rezone it to a flexible design district, with the 403 units and the changes that were proposed. So this is a rezoning request that will, with your recommendation either way, be forwarded on to county council. We do believe they've addressed the requirements of the application.
Any other questions? There being none, let's read to the motion.
Have a like to make a motion, excuse me, that we, recommend to approve, to include the recommendations made by staff.
We have a second. Second by Ms. Newt. Okay, any other discussion on the motion? There being none, those in favor, let it be known by raising your right hands. Right. Okay. All right. Agenda. Okay. All right, next on the agenda is the site plan review, Dan Park. Request from Dan Park Earthworks Group, agent for property owner, Tarak, Kimball, South Carolina, LLC, for site plan approved of the 45 lot, single family.
Business?
Pardon me?
Mr. Chairman, Matt has this one.
Yes.
I was just giving them a second to clear out if they wanted to.
Okay.
And then I'll jump right into this for you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
All right, the current status, the entire parcel is approximately 155.43 acres and is zoned forest agriculture, or FA. The proposed Ferry Preserve development is a 45-lot, single-family subdivision just off Browns Ferry Road. It's currently owned by a timber tract, Tamarack, Timber Co., South Carolina. The applicant proposes to develop 45 single-family lots on approximately 155 acres. Ferry Preserve will have parcels between 1.5 and 5.9 acres, giving a range of lot sizes for residential development. Access to the development will be through a 50-foot street and utility right-of-way off of Browns Ferry Road. Two dead-end streets with the development, within the development, off the new right-of-way. New streets will need to be approved by E911 as well as this commission. The streets throughout the development are to be privately maintained, gravel streets with ditches and drainage systems. All streets shall meet the minimum requirement for an all-weather surface and compaction ratios for a fire truck. Cul-de-sacs will need to be a minimum of 96 feet in diameter. An encroachment permit will be needed from SCDOT for access off of Browns Ferry Road. The county land development regulations say that a dead-end street are minor terminal streets or courts designed to have one end permanently closed and shall be no greater than 800 feet in length unless necessitated by the topography or land configuration and approved by this commission. The development will have dead-end streets, but staff feels that because of the narrow shape and nature of the track, the lack of availability of connecting streets on either side of the development, and the larger parcel sizes proposed, that the site plan should be approved with the dead-end streets internally. Building setbacks and lot requirements for the forest agricultural zone property are front setbacks of 50 feet, sides of 20, rear of 30 feet, with a minimum lot width of 100 feet and a minimum lot size of 1 acre. All lots exceed the minimum lot area requirement of the FA zoning district. The smallest lot proposed is approximately 1.5 acres. So all lots meet or exceed the 100-foot area and lot minimum width. Density for major subdivisions are calculated by subtracting the acreage of the stormwater ponds, the street right-of-way, and the wetlands from the total acreage. And then you divide the lots by that acreage. So the gross density for this phase of the development is 0.29 units per acre, and the net density for this subdivision will be 0.47 units per acre. So, very low density. The future land use map of the comprehensive plan designates this parcel as RES, or residential, and allows low to medium density, or 1 to 5 units per acre. The proposed residential development falls within the low density standards. There are a total of approximately 38.36 acres of wetlands located throughout this tract. These wetlands were delineated by the Brigman Company in March of 2026. Currently, with the larger lot sizes on the site plan, the developer does not plan to impact any of the wetlands. According to the current firm map dated 5/9/2023, the tract is located in flood zone X. This is not considered to be within a regulated flood zone. The proposed tract is bordered by the Crown Point PD to the south and the east, forest agriculture zoning to the north, and limited industrial zoning to the west. Land uses in the immediate area are mostly vacant or forested lands, but there is a county fleet services building and a shooting range nearby. No buffers will be required for the proposed residential development here. A UCC meeting was held on June 9th, 2026, and included the applicant along with the planning department, Water and Sewer District, the Rural Water District, Ori Telephone, and Santee Electric Co-op. SCDOT, Stormwater, County Fire, and Public Works were not at the meeting. They were not in attendance. But the engineer has reached out to them for coordination. Staff made sure all utilities could be provided for this new residential development, and there were no major concerns at the time of this UCC meeting. We did attach a few of those letters of coordination in your packet, but since then, I have also received a Georgetown County Fire as well as the Georgetown County Stormwater Division letters of coordination. For water utilities, the Rural Water District has half of this development within their utility district, and Water Sewer District has the other half. So stated in the UCC meeting, they can serve the development, but would need to work out the details moving forward on which utility district would serve which section. Georgetown County Fire is aware of the proposed development, have reviewed the preliminary plans. They had no major concerns at this stage of the development process. The project has been designed by the Earthworks Group to meet the minimum requirements of the Georgetown County Stormwater Management Ordinance. And they completed a preliminary review of the project, and they have issued their letter of credit, which I just mentioned. A traffic impact analysis, or TIA, is not warranted for this development because the proposed subdivision does not meet the threshold of 500 average daily trips, or ADTs. The zoning ordinance, section 1304.7, states that commercial timber harvesting operations are exempt from the provisions of this ordinance and will result in a restriction of rezoning if land is harbored we can hold it up to a 3-year period. Since there's no rezoning taking place for this major subdivision site plan, this does not apply. Based on the staff review, the plan meets all necessary land development and zoning requirements for approval. Any other action by the Planning Commission must comply with Article 2, Section 2-2B of the Land Development Regulations, which states, if the development plan is disapproved, the reason for such action shall be stated in writing. In conclusion, the Ferry Preserve subdivision is up for site plan review only. The property is zoned FA, or forest agriculture, which allows for single-family units on 1-acre lots. and this plan exceeds the minimum lot requirements and setbacks for the FA zoning district. The review by the Planning Commission is limited to compliance with the land use regulations of Georgetown County, as the use has already been properly designated by the establishment of the FA zoning district. Staff recommends approval of the site plan contingent on the following: final approvals from Stormwater, Water Sewer District, Rural Water, Santee Electric Co-op, Public Works, Georgetown Fire, and Army Corps on the wetlands. A review and approval of a final tree survey by planning staff before construction, and street name approval for new private streets. Note, we did not have any phone calls or emails to our office on this subdivision request. And with that, I will try to entertain any questions, and Mr. Dan Park from Earthwork Groups is here.
All right, any questions for staff at this time? Yeah. Mr. Lee.
With it being in such close proximity with the Crown Point and Brick Chimney Road, is gonna be any turning lane?
Well, it's a little over 1,000 feet to the north or northwest of that intersection with Brick Chimney Road. And so because this does not require any type of TIA or traffic impact analysis, nothing has been looked at for a turning lane there. I really don't know how to answer that question. We're only talking about 45 lots on 155 acres. I don't know if that is going to require any type of turning lanes. The engineer might be able to speak more towards it, though.
Any other questions for staff?
I'll jump right in here. I'm Dan Park with the Earthworks Group. As far as the turning lane goes, I am not a traffic engineer, but I've done a number of subdivisions. Something of this size, I highly doubt would ever trigger a turning lane. We're not really going to approach that until we're getting into the probably 70, 80 units on most projects where you're going to be looking at requiring anything like that. And a lot of them don't even require it at that level. As far as, do you have other questions specific? Do you want me to jump in and kind of give you guys some of the background of the design?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
So the spline road that goes all the way up through the project, you'll notice it kind of goes from one side and weaves over to the other. There's a very intentional reason for that. That's an existing Forest Service road that's already there. We're looking to minimize our impacts on any wetlands by utilizing that existing road. That keeps us from having to go in and create unnecessary disturbances. Another thing that's we want to make sure we mention here is, it was mentioned the shooting range. We intend to have any residents within 2,000 feet of the shooting range sign a document stating that they acknowledge that it does exist there, and they will not be complaining to the police department or anyone else about the shooting range. It already existed before we were there. We want to get it on record that they're not going to be an issue. We are also looking at doing larger lots on this. I'm sure you all know, but FA will let you go down to 1 acre lots. We're doing 1.5 acres so that they're a little bit bigger, a little bit more estate lots. Some of these lots are up to, I think it was 6.5 acres on the one. Just to give it's a little bit of a limited lot for building area, so we gave it a little bit more space in the back. Far as stormwater and everything, we have a number of ponds on this. There's a pond on each section of these wetlands. We're not trying to push water across. Everything will go to a pond before it discharges to the creeks and stuff and the wetlands that are there. I will make sure that that's also reiterated. Happy to answer any other questions you all might have. It's
Mr. Hill?
How far are you from the shooting range?
I'll have a pointer. It's just off to the left-hand corner there. You have, yeah, there you go. So it is in that area there. And that they do have berms and everything else for the shooting range. It's no different than any other range that we have within the county.
I don't see it on the map.
That-
Can you,
I was going to try to explain where, oh, he's got a marker now. Yeah, if you move a little bit to the right, a little bit, yeah, right there, that's the shooting range.
I don't think they can see that on.
Oh, they can't see that on there, so
I
Oh.
can see it.
Oh, can they see it? on
That's close.
It is close. I do not dispute that at all, but it's not aimed right at the residents at any way. It's in the other direction.
And I will chime in on that. I mean, when they first approached with this, that's the first thing I thought of. I remember when you got my CWP, I had to shoot out there at that range. And, so I know exactly where it is. And I immediately called up the sheriff's department. I talked to a major over there. I said, do y'all have any regulations that a neighborhood can be located near a shooting range? And he told me they did not have regulations. And I'm going on record saying that, but he told me they're not, and I was surprised myself, but I just wanted to pass that information on.
So. I wouldn't want to live there. I'm not talking about.
I
from a-
I live next to one. I'm originally from West Virginia, and I live next to one. And yes, you can hear it. You get used to it. I mean, that's just kind of where it is. I've lived next to a shooting range in West Virginia, and I live next to Baltimore Washington International Airport. I will take the shooting range over the airport any day.
I wasn't referring to a safety aspect of it, just
I'm talking noise.
the
Yeah,
noise, yeah. But,
yeah.
I mean, we don't have any noise ordinances that are gonna come into effect. We have noise ordinances in county.
That range does have certain hours. I know from being there before. I wish I could bring in the sheriff's department over here to, to talk about it, but, I know it does have specific hours. I don't know offhand what those hours are.
And I think, we do have requirements for shooting ranges. Obviously, this one was here before that. The zoning ordinance has a requirement for a shooting range and conditions that they have to meet. But in this case, this one's already here and this one comes first. So as Mr. Park said, these people would be moving into one that's already there. Usually that requirements would affect someone who comes in and to protect the existing residences. But,
Yeah.
the important thing will be that these people say that they're aware, it's there and
That is the
Hard to
reason why we're
complain about
trying to have the form for them to acknowledge that it is there, and they will not be contacting the sheriff's department about it. We want to make sure that everyone moving in there is well aware.
I just wonder, I live in Murrells Inlet, and there are people who move in next door to bars. Everybody knows it's there when you move in. But, when the noise starts occurring, I just wonder what's gonna happen if the gunfire is louder than what the county noise ordinance allows. I don't know that you can assign, I don't know that, and this is a question, I don't know the answer. I don't know if a signed statement saying that you're aware that there's gonna be gunfire, if that exempts the fact that gunfire breaks the law.
I think that a lot of that's going to come down to the hours of operation, and they're going to operate the same time you could be operating your construction company right next door. I mean, you'd be no different than having it next to a concrete crushing plant or something of that nature. I mean, you get the same amount of noise there. I mean, they're not out there at midnight shooting. They're not the bar that's going to have some party going off while you're trying to sleep.
Yeah.
That would be the difference in my eyes.
it looks like they close at dusk.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
At least according to the gcsheriff.org, they're open from 3 p.m. to dusk, Monday through Wednesday, and daylight to dusk, Thursday through Sunday.
Because I believe it's a public range as long as you join. There's like a joining
It
fee.
is.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
I mean, personally, I would have some apprehension because of the close proximity of the shooting range to residents. But that'd be an issue for themselves.
Also, the sheriff's office is the enforcer of the noise ordinance.
Any other? Mr. Parker, anything?
No, I mean, it's a
Any
very
questions?
large tract. We're trying to do larger lots on it, obviously. And most of the people are going to be a very long ways away from it. There will be a few that back up to that general location of the range. Yes, we understand that. Anyone who moves in there, they're going to have to accept that whenever they buy it. I assume they'll negotiate a cheaper price when they get it.
I hope the boys don't get upset and mad. I'm just.
I was just happy that, I was just informed of the location of another gun range around here. I may have to join.
All right, is there any other question? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Any other question for staff? Okay, if there be none, we entertain a motion to approve.
Nobody signed up.
No public.
No, nobody's done that. They're all at the range. They're all at the range.
Right, after that. All right, but you're into the motion to approve this request. Make a motion.
I'll make a motion. Do we approve?
Okay, got a motion by Mr. Hill to approve the site plan review. Second. Any other discussion on the motion? Any discussion on the motion? Okay, those in favor, let it be known by raising the right hand. Okay, how many we got? One, got three?
Opposed?
Three.
3-4. Who opposed?
3-4, 3-4, 3-4, the site plan approved.
And
And those that
Opposed?
disapprove, raise your hand. Okay. All right.
You voted twice. Can't prove it.
I have 3-2 approved.
3-2, right,
Okay.
yes, sir. Thank you, Matt. Okay, we'll move right along. All righty. And next on the agenda is, street names?
Yes, sir. We have, Clementine Trail, which is, in the Pennyroyal area, Pate's Stables Lane, Emerald's Inlet, and Lazaire Road in Lambertown. There is another one, Seashore Court, that's on your list. However, that is not acceptable to 911, so, they're gonna be submitting some other names, and that will come next month.
We'll vote, just want to approve those three.
Just approve those three, yes, sir.
Change to the motion.
Motion to approve the street names as submitted.
We get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Leonard. Any other discussion on the motion? There being none, there'll be nobody raising the right hand for approval. Okay. Okay, attendance report is in our packet. Okay, is there any questions? Packet. Okay. Their motion to receive, we don't need a motion to receive the attendance report, do we?
no, that's a. I might have done accidentally.
Take a motion to receive the attendance report.
Second.
Those in favor, right hand. Okay, minutes. Those in favor of the minutes, make a motion.
Make a motion to approve the name minutes.
Okay. We get a second?
Second.
Moving second, for the minutes be accepted. Those in favor, let me know, raise your right hand. Motion accepted. Staff's report is in our packet. Letter of credit report is in our packet. Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Was to adjourn, let me know, right here.